Hello, everyone, and welcome to Makeover Monday 2021 Week 6 Watch Me Viz. This is another Viz 5 initiative this week looking at perceived obstacles to gender equality. Okay, so let's get started. The visualization we're going to review is this one here. We don't have a link to the original, so let's just have a look at it here. So on the upper right, you've got global view split by gender, the top response for each country. I think a map is particularly poor visualization here because it's very hard to compare the countries. Plus the colors, you have to go back and forth to the legend. The names or the responses are very, very long, so that might be something we want to look at cleaning up. Also, you've got red, green colorblind issues there. And then down in the bottom, you've got this table, which I guess is useful if you want to just look up an individual value, but I don't find it particularly useful because it's hard for me to see any trends or patterns, or am I supposed to compare left to right or top to bottom or within each block or whatever. It's very difficult to understand. So going back to the data set, let me scroll down here. So looking at the data set, we can see that, let me open it up here. Okay, so we've got countries. We've got countries, genders, the sample size, the question, the response, and then the percent of responses. Okay, so I've already connected to this data inside of Tableau. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the first sheet. And if I go back here again, you can see these are all percentages that are whole numbers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the default property for my percent responses to just a percentage with 0 decimal places. Okay, and I'm going to first look at the question. And okay, maybe I'll put it up here in a column so we can read it a bit easier. Okay, oops. I meant to choose fit width. We could see, thinking about the list of reasons below, which, if any, do you personally think are the main reasons why women may or may not be equal to men in your country? Wow, that's quite the mouthful. I'm going to go ahead and just put that onto the detail shelf. Since there's only one question, I'm going to stick that into the title so that I kind of have it to refer to when I'm building my visualizations. All right, and then in the gender column, we've got male, female, and total. The responses, the list of responses here, we can see we've got a pretty extensive list here. So again, really long response names. So I think I'm going to start by just cleaning those up. So I'm going to edit the alias for those. Let's see, boys and girls are treated differently. So I'm just going to call this one treated differently. I think I put an extra space in there. Let's see, this one I'm going to just rename as crises. Girls do not receive the same access to education, so let's see, access to education. Men tend to be physically stronger, so I'll say physically, why women may not be equal to men in your country. Physically, I'm going to say weaker in this case. Because I think that one was women tend to be, so I'm going to say physically weaker. Religion and culture. Unpaid care, domestic work, and parental responsibilities not shared. Unpaid care. So I think I'll just call this one parental responsibilities. Okay. Women and men are not equally represented. So, okay, so let's call this one political representation. Women cannot exercise the same level of control over their bodies. Okay. Control over bodies. And different employment opportunities. Okay, so employment opportunities. There we go. And then we have don't know, so let's just, so don't know, and none of these. Okay, excellent. So, so worksheet, clear, manual sizing, okay. And what I want to look at here then is, let's see, we also have countries. So we could see, let me just go across here. We've got all of the different countries, and we have the genders. So within each country, we have the gender. So I've already got gender in the view. And I'll just put, I think that's all those fields, and percent of respondents onto the label. And now I've got a nice table. Okay, so so everything looks pretty good. I'm going to so let's say upper country. Okay, and I just want to use I'm just going to uppercode or uppercase everything. So aliases. Come on, that's annoying. It's a bug in the latest version of Tableau. Female. Oh, actually, that doesn't matter. I'm actually going to go ahead and I might need the genders as separate fields. So I'm just going to call this one female. I'm going to have 3 calculations, one for female, one for male, and one for total in case I need them. So if gender equals female, then percent of respondents, and then duplicate that, edit, let's call this one male. Okay, and then duplicate again. Let me rename that one. And then duplicate one more time. And I'm going to call this one total, and then the gender, and make that total. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I think we're okay there. So I'm just going to run through a bunch of different charts. Parental and domestic responsibilities. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. So response aliases. What is it? Parental and domestic. Oh, God, it's annoying. Thank you. Okay. Parental and domestic opportunities or responsibilities. Great. Thank you for that, Peter. So that was the toughest one to word for me. Okay, so let's just start going through so I'm just going to call this one my table. I'm just going to start running through a bunch of different visualizations. So the first one I'm going to look at is just a simple, maybe just a simple bar chart. So I can take this previous example and maybe I'll put the gender onto color, percent of respondents here. And let me actually put the gender onto rows. Okay, so we get something like that. Now you see this border around all of these. That's because I have the question on detail. So I don't know if you can see it, but if I make the border none, you'll see they look a bit crisper. So let's put gender also on color. Okay, and let's see. So it looks like the longest bars tend to be about parental and domestic. Let me just fit it to entire view and see if that helps us at all. So the longest bars look like they tend to be parental and domestic responsibilities generally, or employment opportunities. Okay, so that's something to look at. So this is just a bar chart. All right. Let's see. So just a simple bar chart. Let's maybe look at then, so we have the, let's see, let's delete. I'm going to just keep duplicating the sheet because it might be easier. I'm going to take gender off, and I'm going to look at my female compared to my male. So I'm just going to drop the one axis on top of the other. So now I can just compare. It's the same thing, but I'm just comparing females to males. And if I put measure names onto color, okay, I get just those two. But I think this might look a bit better if we did one bar inside the other. So I'm going to take measure names and also put it on size. And if I click on female, you can see it's stacked on top of male. So I'm going to turn my stack marks off. And okay, if I flip this chart around, Okay, that doesn't help me very much. It's pretty hard to look at. So this is, we could think of this as like a bar inside of a bar. I think for now, I'll just filter to a couple countries to make it look a bit better. So let me pick maybe, I don't know, Australia, Canada, let's see, maybe some European countries, Great Britain, Switzerland, and United States. Let's just do it that way just so we can see it a bit better. So you can see the females exceed the males in some of these. Let me just fit to standard. Okay. Okay, there we go. Something like that. But again, not particularly useful. So bar in bar. And I'm going to duplicate that. But I think maybe what I'll do this time is I'm going to put the male onto the detail shelf. And then I can add the male as a reference line. So for each cell, I'm going to have the male as a reference line. And maybe I'll make that a dark line. Hit OK. And now we can see where the male is, where the female responses are higher than the male responses. So I'm going to now create another calculated field because I want to color code the ones where the female is above the male. So female greater than male. And I'm just going to say sum of female is greater than, or I could just do female is greater than male. And if I put that onto color, oh, no, I do need to make that an aggregate, so edit. So sum female, sum of male. And let's put that on color. There we go. So now we can see where the females are higher than the males. So maybe I'll change the colors of this then to maybe make this red and maybe a grayish color to see if they stand out a bit more. So you can see in most so employment opportunities in the U.S. in this set of countries is the only one that's a bit different. So this is a bar with reference line. So I'm looking for any particular kind of patterns here, but I don't. I mean, if I just looked at this real quick, let me take country back off the filters. And make this entire view. It looks pretty ugly. And if I'm going to look at this, I see, if I just quickly look at this, I see like, you know, males and, you know, it's kind of split half and half between the true and the false. So I wouldn't find that one particularly useful. Okay. What else could we look at? Okay, so let's look at let's look at the response. And what if we look at the gender, and I'm going to exclude the total. And I'm going to put gender on color. And then I'm going to put percent of respondents on that. And that's just our stack bars. You see the percentages are really high. That's because I don't have country in the view. So let me flip that around. Okay, so does that really tell me anything? Not really. So this is stacked bars. That's not very useful. Okay, let's maybe look at, what if we look at like a dot plot? So let's look at the response. Okay, I'm going to exclude they don't know and none of these, so response. So I'm going to create a set that is, let's see, none of these don't know, and I'm going to exclude those. So exclude responses. And then I can just put that on the filter shelf, and I'm going to just make that apply to everything in the data source. So if I go back, you'll see it disappears from there. Okay. So for each country, again, I need to put country in the view. I want to look at the females compared to the males, and I want to make it I'm going to make them circles, and then entire view. I think I need this here and that there. Switch them around. No, that's not what I want. This is really, really difficult data to visualize. So if I make this a line, you see I get like a little slope graph, but again, it's not very easy to read. So if we color that, again, we can see kind of the males versus the females. So this would be a slope graph. Okay, so let me duplicate that. And I want to put measured names onto color and make this circles. Okay, so if I put country here, oops, standard. Okay, so if I make these circles, I was thinking about making like a dot plot, but it's really a terrible data set for that. Okay, what if I put country onto detail? Rotate that. Okay, so now if I put on an average line for each pane, so that's the average across both the males and the females. Right. So let me pick a couple better colors here to make them a bit easier to understand. So why don't I go to maybe Makeover Monday colors, and maybe make the females maybe let's see, let's go with maybe, let's see what colors here. Maybe let's just try one of these. So let's do the females that and the males purple. Okay. So what I'm trying to see here is what's the average. So the average across males and females. But what I was hoping for, so let me edit that. And okay, so what I want to do is if I put both of these onto detail, and then let's add a reference line for each cell. Average. Okay, that's what I meant. That's what I meant to do. Okay, so now let me edit the reference lines or format them. Let's make them dark. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. So the males. Okay, so when we're looking at access to education, let me put I need to put the question back in there. So what's our question? Think about those. Which, if any, do you personally think are the main reasons? Okay, so let me rename this question. So, oh, this is really annoying. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I can see this a bit better. So so this would be our dot plot. And I'm going to put the question onto that. And then let me just insert the question. Okay, which are the main reasons why women may not be equal to men? So more men than women say access to education. So where are women higher than men? So equal opportunities, control over bodies. Let's see, parental and domestic responsibilities. Okay, so there's a few that are quite differently. or that are quite differently, that are quite different. Okay, so that's not too bad. And I've got all countries on here. So how many dots is that? 17. So there must be some that are overlapping. So how many records do we have here? Just one. How many countries are in the view? Country. 17. Oh, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So some of these must be doubled. Yes, there we go. That's 12. Okay, so some of them have the same responses, which isn't particularly useful. Okay, that might be okay. So I would need to kind of play around with the wording and everything, but let's leave that like that for now. So that's each country. Okay. I was going to try like a barbell chart, but I don't think those would be very useful. Okay, so yeah, so this one is the largest difference for sure. So that might be a focus area then. Let's see. So somebody says packed bubbles. Absolutely not. Those are always a terrible visualization to use. Something using maps. That's another really poor visualization choice here. Why does a map matter? That's not really what we're trying to compare here. We're not trying to compare the geographic locations of them. And the percentages do not sum to 100 for this data set. That's correct, because people could pick more than one answer if they wanted to. Okay, so that's our dot plot. So, okay, so let me duplicate this. And if I want to make this a barbell, what I can do on this one is make it a line, and then have the line go through each country. And then make this a dual axis and synchronize. And let's move the lines to the back. So this would be the same kind of view, but a dot plot, which I like this one because it shows us the range a bit better, I think. So this would be like a, I don't know, I'll call it a connected dot plot. So I like that. Comparing these two, I think this one shows the differences better than the other. Okay. And then if we duplicate that, and let's go to this one, let's go to the lines, and if we just make the line larger, something like that, and make these with a white border, you can see them inside of each other. So maybe on this one, I'll just take that. So again, 3 different, so this is, so I'm going to call this maybe an enclosed dot plot. I don't know what the official name for that would be, but maybe I'll make it like a lighter gray or something like that. So that doesn't look too bad. Okay, but again, it's kind of hard. I find it kind of hard to make comparisons, so we may end up just focusing on the parental and domestic responsibilities. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's go to a new sheet. Let's duplicate this sheet. Let's see. Let's go to a new sheet. I'm going to put question onto detail. And again, I'm going to just stick the question up here so I can have it for reference. Okay, and then the response I want to look at is parental and domestic responsibilities. So now if I look at, actually, let me just, yeah, that's fine. So if I look at, actually, let me go back here. Let me delete this sheet, and I'm going to duplicate this one, but this time I'm going to keep just the parental and domestic responsibilities, and I'm going to swap out the response for the country. So now I can see and then I can take measure names off the view, and then on my line I want to connect it by, make that on detail, and I'm going to connect it by measure names. Okay, And then maybe instead of having this reference line here, I could put the total. And then, so I need to get rid of my reference lines. Let's take those off. Okay, and then here, okay, so why are these all different sized? Okay, this should be let's make this a Gantt bar. Okay, there we go. And then reduce the size. Why is it not shrinking down? Okay, that's not very helpful. So if I make that one a circle, this is another, okay, there we go, that's why. So I want to make this, this gray one, let's make this one, so that's our total. And if I make this one a reference line, or a Gantt bar, okay, let's maybe make that black. So now I can see the male versus the female with the total in the middle. That's not great. So synchronize, okay. So let me duplicate this sheet. And I think what I'll do this time, I'm going to leave the total on there, but I'm going to make it a circle. And on the measure values, instead of doing that, I'm going to use female. And I'm going to make this a Gantt bar. And what I want to do is I want to draw a bar that goes between the male and the female. So let's call this one difference. So female to male difference. So sum of female minus, let's see, so no, I want to do sum of male minus sum of female. And if on this one, if I put that on the size shelf, there we go. So move those to the front. And now I can see the difference between the male and the female. So let's see, so if I now put the male versus female onto color here, let's see, measure names doesn't need to be on there. Okay, so is it true everywhere? So the women is always higher than the men. Okay, that's fine. But just a different view of that. So maybe I don't need that on color. I can make these maybe, I don't know, a grayish color. So that's the total, and then we have male versus female. So this would be like a Gantt with total dot. So this shows me it's like I don't know, let me just call it a floating bar. So it's basically showing me the difference, the length of the bar is the difference between the male and the female. So if I put male on detail as well, maybe total, let's go back here. Let me just put it on the all marks card. So male, female, total. So you can see for this bar, the females and the males, yep, difference is minus 0.16. Okay, so my difference should be the other way around, like it should be a positive 16%, I would think. No, I'll leave it as a negative. Okay, and I need to format these fields. Okay. Okay, I probably don't need the difference in there as the, so let me go in here, and if I can take the difference out of the tooltip. Okay, there we go. And then the question, I don't need that in the tooltip either. Okay, so now this tells me in Argentina the males are 49. Sorry, the females are 49, the males are 33, and then the overall was 42. So I'm going to rename this to the overall. Okay, and then maybe this dot could be, oh, I don't know. Let me try a different color. What if we pick something like that? So that could be our, okay, so this doesn't look bad. So that's the floating bars, except now they're all blurry. Okay, and then I could sort the countries then. So sort by field descending, and then female. Yeah, so if we do it by female, okay, there we go. Okay, and then I can hide that header. So that's not too bad. So let's call this one, yeah, so that's our floating bar chart. Okay, so another way we could look at this then, so let me just go ahead and let's see, let me just, yeah, so new sheet. So out of these so far, I think I like the floating one the best, so I'm going to remove the color from those. Okay, so now I want to look at, let's see, the response I'm going to look at is just the parental and domestic responsibilities. I want to look at it by country, and then the females and the males. Okay, and what I want to do now is I want to have a third bar that shows kind of the difference between the two. So, so I'm going to duplicate my female. I'm going to put that here and make this one a, let's make this one, let me move this one down. Oops. Okay, and then this one I want to make a Gantt bar, and I'm going to size it by that difference again. And now if I make that a dual axis, and let's synchronize, and then this should be mark type bar. There we go. So I can make this one nice and thin, and now we get that kind of look where you have the difference between the two as well. So I'm not exactly sure what you would even call this chart type, but so female copy, I can uncheck include in tooltip, hide that. Okay, so now we've got the males and the females, and then maybe the difference, I can make that maybe a black or something, so something like that. I might need to play around with the male and female colors, and then I could hide the header. Okay, and then again, if I sort the countries, so sort descending by field female. There we go. So this is just another way to look at this same floating bar chart, but I think I still like the floating bar chart better. So this is, I'll call this one bars with Gantt difference. The thing I really like about this one is that it shows you, kind of the distance between the male and the female. So if let me show the header again, and I could rename this, maybe I'll just call this like a blank. Oh, it doesn't let that. Rename, shoot, I forget how to make it just make it a dot. So it shows the difference between two. I like that view, but I find it a bit busy for this particular visualization. Okay, maybe the next one we could do then. So let me duplicate and get rid of that. Okay, so now we're just back to a bar chart. And I want to have measure names. So let's put that on detail. Okay, and let's change this to a line. And I want to connect them by that. And then I want to size them by measure values. So measure values on size. Entire view. So I want to make this a by range. Okay, so now we get something like a Comet chart, something like that. But I don't want measure values on size. I want measured names on size. So that means yes, this is our, let's see. So this is called a Comet chart, but I don't like that one either. Okay, now how about like a butterfly chart? So let me start over again. My response is going to just be, okay, so I want to have the females and the males. Okay, and then I'm going to have my country, but I'm going to put the measured names on color. So now they're stacked. And I'm going to just make put a minus in front of the males. So now they go opposite directions. And then if I sort this by descending, field, female. There we go. So yeah, this isn't too awful. If I put the response up here, okay, yeah, that's not very useful. But maybe if I show the filter, let me just to make it easier, let me make it I'm going to get rid of the all, and then I'm going to make it a slider or a list. So I can see how they change as I click on the different options. Okay. But you can see where 0 is here in the middle. So if I, like for example, if I put a reference line on here, let's see, a constant at 0, and then let me format my reference line. Let's make it, okay, and then let me edit that, and I want to get rid of the label, oh shoot, the label, get rid of the tooltip, and we get something like that. So this kind of helps show the distribution pretty well. So I like this one. So this is my butterfly. There's another one I might make green, another option. Okay. Okay, so we did that one. So let's maybe look at a couple more. So this time I'm going to look at maybe each of the responses. I want to have the percent of respondents, and I want to have the so how do I want to do this? How about my female respondents? And I'm going to put country onto detail. Okay, so we get something like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to rank these. So create a bump chart. So I want to do a rank, and I'm going to compute it using, let's see, country. Oh, and then make them, let's see, align. And there we go. So if I show the country, so show highlighter, and then my rank needs to be turned around because I want the let's see, so sum of female, I want the, let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's reverse the axis. Okay, so now if I pick, like, for example, Kenya, you can see the highest number of responses comes from crises. Let's see, so they're ranked worst on crisis response. Okay, New Zealand, Switzerland, so United States. So you could just see the rank for each of the countries. Okay, so this is our bump chart. And another one we could do instead of a bump chart, so let me duplicate this, is a parallel coordinates. So basically it just takes the bump chart, but instead of using just 1, 2, 3 all the way through, it'll have it'll show the relative difference between them. So if I put female onto detail, you'll see this one is 31% and this one is 23%. So there's an 8% difference between them. So I'm just going to call this one my parallel coordinates. And I have videos on how to create this if you're interested. Or I'll create one tomorrow maybe. So I want to say, I want to look at the sum of the female. Let's put a brackets around that. Minus the window min of the sum of the female divided by the window. Let's see, get rid of that. Let's make this max minus window min, and the brackets around that whole thing. And I'm missing a bracket up here. Okay, so if I put this in the view instead, and I want to compute it the same way, so compute using country, now you're seeing the relative difference between them. So so you see access to education in India so in India, access to education is the highest reason, and then the next one down is China, etc. So if I look at, let's go back here, look at India, you can see the women are treated differently as a high reason, etc. Okay, so I don't like that one either. So I'm down to just maybe a couple. So the butterfly chart I think looks pretty good. And then the floating bar chart looks pretty good too, I think. So what if I show the filter on this one as well? So let me get rid of the all option, and then make this just a single value list. Okay. Okay, physically weaker. So the only one that has anything that looks parental. Okay. So parental and domestic. What's this one again? Parental and domestic. What does it say? Responsibilities. So that's definitely the highest for all of them. And butterflies. So let me move these all the way over to the left. So which one do I like better? So let's format that, and we'll make it no, we'll just do it this way. So let's format the measure values. I want it to be percentage on both sides, so a positive number on both sides. So I'm going to go to percentage, and you see it didn't change. That's nice. Oh, I need to do axis. So percentage, but then I want both of them to look positive. So I'm going to do 0% colon 0 or semicolon 0%, and that makes them both look positive. Okay, and then I could put the male and female overall on the detail. Okay, and then this one I can. Okay, there we go. So we've got male, female. Why is that still in the tooltip? Oh, because it's measure. So I don't want measure values in the tooltip. Okay, there we go. So probably should just have. What do I want to have on here? I don't want to have. Yeah, so I want to have measure values in the tooltip. Okay, so I don't want those. Yeah, right. So we got the male and the female. Actually, maybe if I do put them all back in, I could color code these. Okay, so let's get rid of that one. Measure values we can take out of the tooltip. Okay, so now I need to try to pick some better colors here. So what if I go back to so what I'm trying to do here is maybe find some colors here. So So if I pick, so female, so if I pick a color, let's see. So if I apply that, ooh, that's really bright. Okay, what other colors could I use here? Let's try this one. This looks a bit more muted. Yeah, that's better. And then maybe for the males, maybe a little. I think maybe I'll make the males like a gray because I want the females to be the focus of this. So what if I make this gray? Something like that. So that makes females more the focus of the visualization, I think. Okay, let me quick go back over to your questions here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so the bikini chart, that'd be kind of like what this one is here. So Charlie, never going to like butterfly charts, then for them to a bar and a bar or any other sort of dual axis. So Charlie, the reason I did a bar and a bar here, I'm sorry, a butterfly, was because I didn't like the bar and a bar, but maybe if I come back to this and let's say I only pick, let's do keep only on that and maybe put country here instead. I just don't particularly like the look of that. But maybe if I do the same thing here, so the response, keep only. So again, you get something like that, but maybe if I take that off a color, make that like a grayish color. Or I could pick that green that we just picked. Now, where's that color green we just picked? Where was that one? Butterfly. Is that the same green? So with her, I guess it is. It's really bright. Wow. Yeah, so maybe I'll just keep going through these examples again, but just use the parental. So keep only. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just apply, let's just leave it like that for now. I'll put country here. Yeah, we get that, which isn't very good. There's our bar and our bar with a reference line, stacked bars. Okay, slope graph. It's okay, so response, keep only. And let's put country here instead. Actually, let's put country on detail. Okay, so standard width. Let's make this a bit wider. So this shows you the, yeah, so slope graph's a bit better there. Okay, so a dot plot. If I did keep only, make it standard size and put, yes, that doesn't work very well. I don't like that one. Connected dot plot. So again, if I pick, let's do keep only, and then I want to put maybe country instead of response, and then let's take that off the view. And then our lines are going to be connected by, instead of by country, by, let's put that on the path instead. There we go. So that's something. Then the enclosed one, let's again do the same thing. Put country, where's country? Here. And measure names onto path. Okay, so that's those two. Yep, that one. Okay. Okay, so this one already has the difference between the two. And this one's not bad. I still don't really like that bump chart. Parallel. Okay, so none of those work. This one's not too bad. Okay, dumbbell chart I already did, so that was this one, like connected dot plot, that's a dumbbell chart. And then the enclosed is just making that line bigger. All right, so what else could we do here? I think, so I kind of like this one, but I don't know how I would word it. So let me hide the card. So if I include 0, okay, and then format, let's see, so edit axis, tick marks, fixed, 0.2, and every 10%, maybe 0.05, maybe 0.1, I think I like that better. So this now shows us, yeah, I kind of like this one. This shows us the range between the males and the females, which I like. Okay, so that one or this one, butterfly or that one, they're really showing the same thing. But maybe this dot, I wonder if this should be maybe a Gantt bar. And if I make that smaller. So I think I like the dot better than the Gantt bar. I just think it might be a bit confusing, so size. But how do I show that that's the difference between them? So if I did, so let me duplicate this. Okay, so if I change this overall to, okay, that's fine. I want to put, let me show the header. And if I put female on here and male on here, and I make, let me synchronize. And then if I make these all Gantt bars, and then size, if I can get them to be like just the same size, which is going to be very difficult. Okay, let me try it a different way. I want to somehow get the, like kind of the ends of the bars to make it a bit more obvious what's going on. So if I have male and female, okay, so if I put on a reference line for each cell for female, but see, I can't size the reference line. God, it's terrible. It's annoying. Okay, so if I do that, and then let me put another reference line on for male. Okay, so the male, maybe we'll make that, what color did I use? What are my colors? So, okay, and then this line, I want to format as more colors. See, that's going to make it look the same. Okay, so this reference line needs to be black. Maggie, off, get down, down, get down. Come on, down. Good girl. Maggie, come. Good girl. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is trying to show, you know, the males and the females in the total. So I probably can, let me try to format this view. And if I go the row divider, if I make it really thick and I make it white, but I can't make it any bigger. Okay, so I need to change the level. Okay, so that didn't help me at all. Okay, so let me try this. Okay. What I'm trying to do is I wanted to like override those. Oops. Oh, what the heck? Where's that? Oh, there it is. So that didn't work. So if I want to have, what I was hoping was, can I put the colors on the ends of the lines? But that doesn't look like it worked. What the heck? Why is it not letting me remove the tooltip? That's weird. Okay, so that didn't work. So I need to choose between the butterfly and the floating bar chart. So, okay. Yeah, so the question is, what are the main reasons? Yeah, so the main reason here is the parental and, what do we call it? The parental and domestic responsibilities are the main reason. Let's see. What do we want to answer with what is the main reason stated by females in one country compared to another? So, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. So, yeah, so this part of the bar chart just compares the females. So if I look at, so for example, if I just looked at just the one gender, this tells me, and then, so what do we want to answer? What is the main reasons in one country compared to the other? But this doesn't answer that. This just tells me the percent of respondents in each country for that one response. So if I'm going to put the responses in here, then it's going to look pretty terrible. So that's kind of one of the reasons I went down to just a single reason. So if I go back, let's look at the, let me go to my bar chart. Let's just look at the main reason. So keep only. Okay. And then if I, because there's no total country, which makes this a bit different. So let me show the filter for that. And let me put the parental reason here. Okay, and I'm just going to sort descending. So parental, so I'm just going to go through each of the countries. So let's do list. Okay, so employment opportunities, Australia. So maybe, okay, maybe we count the number of times that that's ranked first. So how many times is each? Okay, I see. Maybe that'll help. There was something to get from that. Missed the first 10 minutes in case. So, so given the original viz as a heat map type chart, is anything there's something to gain from that? So let's look back at that. So, yeah, I see your point, but we've got that here. So it kind of shows different equal opportunities, parental responsibilities, but it sort of changes as well. So like it looks like Kenya, it's more religion is the darkest one. So what I was thinking was if I just look at this table, for example, and let's say that I want to just only look at the totals. Oops. Then I want to look at like which one is the largest for each country. So let's call this largest per country. I think I want to say if so let's see. Okay, so I want to say fixed on country and response. I want to get the the max of the percent responses. So that's going to give me the max in each country. So let me try that. Let me put that on here. And we should get, so largest per country, number format, percentage, 0%. Okay. So, okay, so where my largest per country. So I don't want that. I just want to have the max there. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I'm getting the maximum each country, and then I want to get the response back from that. Okay, so largest per country, so response, so max response, I'll call it that. So if the percent of respondents is equal to our largest per country, then we want to bring back the access. We want to bring back the response. Okay, so let's try that. So let's bring that here. Okay, and we get, so let's see, religion and culture. What did I do wrong here? Let's see, largest max response. So if the percent of respondents doesn't really matter what I put here. Okay. Right. Okay, so every country should have one of these four. So, okay. So 46 is 46. Where's 46? Percent of respondents. Okay, I need to go back. Get myself confused here. So Australia, the highest number is 46%, which is access to education. Okay. But then, okay. 46, where's 46? Oh, we don't have 46. So largest per country. So, okay, that's the problem. I need to add the total to context and exclude the responses to context. Okay, there we go. So now the largest is 41, which is parental and domestic responsibilities and employment opportunities there. Okay, so max response. So Australia, so Argentina, 49% was parental and domestic responsibilities. Okay. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, so I think that is correct. So let me get rid of, okay, and then max response. So then I could do, and I could just do a, can I just do sum of, so if I do count max response. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so for example, religion, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4 countries with religion as the highest one. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, let's get rid of that. get rid of that. We leave the question there. It doesn't matter. So we should get 4 countries. What did I call it? Max response count. Okay, there we go. So 7641, which I think is what we saw here. So treated differently, United States. So treated differently. Gosh, I've lost my treated differently 1. Okay. And then we had religion and culture 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4. Okay, so that looks right. So 4. Okay, so we can do that. And then this would be the number of countries. So let's filter to be at least 1. Okay, so 7 countries, employment opportunities was the main reason. I think this is kind of what you're getting to. Is that right, Chris? Okay. I think, there might be a simpler way to do this, but this is just kind of went through my head, what went through my head. So I can maybe put response onto text. And then if I format this, okay, and then if I hide the header, so this tells me how many countries yeah, so I think this answers. So how many, what are the main reasons why women? 7. What? So which are the main reasons? So I think I'm going to say I'm not quite sure that's the title. I left the other title in here just so I can see it for comparison. But this tells me 7 employment opportunities. Total is 18, but it's 17 participant countries. So 7641. There must have been a country that was equal. So 76 is 13, 14, 18. So if I do a new sheet, and again, if I just look at maybe country response and percent of respondents. Let's see. So there's probably a country that has a match. So I need to break this down by country response and gender. Let's just pick total. Okay, so Argentina won. So there must be a country that had the same response twice. Germany, Japan, Mexico, New Zealand, South Africa. Yeah, so Switzerland here, you can see they both have, they've got 49% twice, which is why we get 18. Okay, so we've got that, but now could I maybe take, for example, my butterfly chart, and let's say I only, so let's see, so if I create let me response. Let's create a set. So these are top responses set. And I'm going to say employment opportunities. Let's see, I could do use all condition. Max response count is greater than 1. Greater than or equal to 1. And I think if I put that here, where's my butterfly chart? Okay. There we go. So now do I do 4 butterfly charts? So for example, do I put my reason now, my response up here, and now I've got 4 butterfly charts, and do I list those kind of on top of each other? So if I clear the sort, so what I could do now is let me just create a new dashboard. And I better save. So this is, what's this called again? This is perceived obstacles to gender equality. So, geez, oh man. The pressure of typing while others are watching. Okay, so I'm going to float a container. Oops. Let's make that 0, 0. Okay, and then I'm going to just put it, oops. Title. Actually, I don't even need to do that because I could put my, is it my table? Yeah. Okay. So I could put my table into this and get rid of my question. Okay. And I want to make it like that. Okay, and now if I put my butterfly chart underneath of that, and then what I could do is if I get rid of the title, okay, and then I can hide that, and then back in the table I could put a dummy in here, and that way I can line everything up nice and neat. So let me take this and just take it over a tick, that way I can line these up. Okay, and then I can hide the headers. Okay, and then I should have a tiled. So something like that. That at least lines everything up. So let me format this, get rid of my row dividers, get rid of my column dividers. Okay, and then oops, so that should be centered. Nope, center, and let's make it top. Okay, there we go. Oh God, they still haven't fixed this. Okay, so let me go back here. I'm just going to play around with this a bit more. Let's make this one 8. Let's make this like 28. I'm trying to make the numbers bigger. Okay, so this all, in theory, should be lined up now. Let me see. Format. can maybe edit this reference line or format the reference line, make it not quite so thick. Okay. So that gives us the 5350. Okay. So if I now go into my butterfly chart and my tooltip, so I don't need measure names. So measure names. Okay, it's not going to let me do that. So let me just take it out. We want the country and the response. Female, male, total. Okay, that's fine. So female, I'm going to color code that. The male, I'm going to color code like that. And the overall, I'll just leave it black. Okay, so now at least we get the, you can see all the values. We don't really need the overall in there, I don't think, so I'm going to get rid of the overall and then go back into my tooltip and get rid of that. And then I'm just going to make this a slightly darker gray. Okay, so that looks a bit better. Okay. All right. So what do you all think of this? I think I need a bit more space between each of the sides, so I'm going to make this fixed from maybe minus 0.75 to 0.75. This should help us see maybe the lean a bit better. And I'm trying to get a bit more of a gap between the sheets themselves. So, and then should I get rid of the grid lines? Maybe I'll make them really light like that. And then let me format this. I'm going to make these maybe 8. And then I don't want anything in this sheet. So let's get rid of the tooltip. So I could say maybe how many countries cited each reason. I need to figure out and this title is really terrible. I need something better. Okay, but while I'm doing that, let me show the, oops, undo. I'm going to show the caption. And I need to go back here. Our data source is what? Focus 2030. And then I need around the whole thing, I need some padding. So let me go in here, inner padding, let's make that 20. Okay, so I need a better title. Anybody have any ideas? What is the main reason stated? About okay, what does means stated by each country? If 7 said employment opportunity, which 7 were in the list? Oh, that's a good question. I'll see if I can do that, Anastasia. So what is the main reason stated by each country for why men? Okay, so that. How about main reasons? How about something like that? Do you need to highlight the 7, 6, 4, and 1 to make the figures clear? Yeah, I think I do. So I need to figure out now how to do that. So I need to make, I need to know which country. Okay, okay, max response, edit. Okay, largest per country. So let's give me the max response. So, oh shoot, how am I going to do that? Top responses. So in other words, which 7 countries gave that as their highest reason? So for example, religion and culture, I want to highlight South Africa. So here I want to highlight South Africa. And let me, let's see, so this is really, so I think that's what you're saying is highlight this one here. Okay. So, let's see. Do I already have this calculation? Let me see. Largest per country. So that's the largest per country. And then this is referring to, okay, so I think I can duplicate that. Let me edit. So I think I just want to say that equals that. Okay, so if I put that on detail and then on color, okay. So South Africa, okay, so I think, yeah, so we're getting somewhere here. Okay, great. So, okay, so false, true. Okay, so for the female false, I want to do, actually, okay, so for the females, I want these to both be our greenish color, which was, what's the color for our greenish color? I think it was this color. Let me go back. Okay, so let me show you a little trick here then. So I'm going to just go forward. So the 2 female ones, I want to, let's see, so I'm going to assign both of these a color, the same color. And then both of the males, I'm going to assign this color. Okay, so we get something like that. But what I want to highlight is when they're both true, like that. So once you do it like that, I can then click on the little drop down here and choose Assign Highlight Colors to Palette. And now if I go back over here, I can see those that are highlighted. I think that's what you mean. Is that, Simon, is that what you're thinking then? So now I can highlight within each country which one is the highest. And I think maybe this reference line is a bit too bold. And maybe I should make it thinner. See if that's better. So yeah, I'll give a second for the video to catch up with this here. So this now highlights those that are the highest. And I'm pretty sure this is what you meant. So 1, 2, 3. Wait, this is wrong. So floating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so something's not right here. So table employment opportunity. Show header. Parental. All right, so something's not right here. So 4. But each country is shown up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why am I getting 8 here? Shit. Yes, that's not going to do it. But why am I getting 8? Okay, I'm a bit stuck here because I don't know why I'm getting different values. Okay, so let me go to okay, so one, so I should be getting 7. 7 of them said employment opportunities, but see, I'm only getting each country 1 time, so something else is wrong. So for South Africa, it should be religion and culture. Switzerland should have 2 of them. Switzerland doesn't have 2 of them, it only has 1. South Africa is religion and culture. So it has something to do with here. Okay. So oh, interesting. So now there's a slight difference. Okay, because it's only, but that's going to mess up the count. Crapola. So max response. Okay. Let me do. Okay, let me move that up here. Okay, so let me clear this sort. So employment opportunities: Argentina, China, Colombia, Switzerland. Argentina, China, Colombia, Switzerland. Okay. Parental. Okay, let's do religion, culture, Kenya, and South Africa. Kenya, South Africa. Okay, that's right. Treated differently: India, Tunisia, United States. India, Tunisia, United States. And then Australia. Yeah, so that's the rest of them. So that's right. So I think these numbers are wrong here. Okay, so something's not right here. So if I change this to a count distinct, put that on label. Okay, so I need to change this table isn't right. So gender total, max response by country is true. And then shit. Okay, so the question can come off the view. There we go. Ah, okay, there we go. That's better. Okay. All right, so main reasons stated by each country for why women may not be equal to men. So 4 of them said employment opportunities. Okay, this is great. Yeah, this was really fun. I'm glad we took all this time to go through it. And I really appreciate the feedback. That's what I like about these sessions. So, hopefully, so I learned a lot about iterating through different chart types. Or hopefully you learned about iterating through different chart types. So each of the charts that I created, so let me save before something breaks. So if I go to the charts, the kind of slide sorter view, every chart that I created here is some type of comparison. So let me color green. I can delete that one. And let me remove the color from that. Okay, so every chart you see in here is some way to compare the to do comparisons between 2 data points. So I was comparing females and males the whole way through, and then eventually, largely in part to your feedback going through this, we ended up with the butterfly chart, which I know seemed a bit strange at first. But now we can see what the main reason is for each country. The highlighting, that was an excellent idea. So thank you for that, Simon. And I think I like the way this turned out. Let me just double check my tooltips. Okay, so 50, yeah, so all this looks good. And I guess that's it. So thank you very much. Yeah, and I did see you. So Kian, you liked the little trick for doing the highlighting. So yeah, maybe I'll do something about that. Okay, I think that is it. And everybody, have yourselves a great day. Bye.